Welcome back, yappers, to another episode of Binge, Yap, Repeat. I'm your co-host, Ruchi. I like the sound of mechanical keyboards and the smell of coffee in the mornings, and I dislike when people talk over each other and the texture of wet food in the sink.
And I am your other co-host, Shalini. I like my golden retriever Maui and getting dessert after dinner with friends. And I dislike spicy food and staying up past 11 p.m.
Wait, I didn't know that you dislike spicy food.
You didn't know that? I have like the worst spicy food tolerance.
I can easily picture you being like sniffling after spicy food, but I did not know that you actively disliked it because people like that feeling.
Yeah, no. I just, yeah. Like, why are we putting ourselves through pain, you know?
I understand. Do you feel like there are certain spices that you can tolerate and not tolerate more than others?
Mm, I do think I'm better. I'm okay with like Szechuan spicy food that's the numbing spice usually. 'Cause it just numbs and then I don't feel pain. But I'm really bad with super spicy like Thai spice and Indian spice
Oh,
and actually also like Mexican spice. Yeah. I think I can't really handle any spice.
okay,
But
so all the spices.
Szechuan like the mala is okay.
Okay, got it. The most mild of all spices. Okay, anyway, well, today, yappers, we're here to talk about Love on the Spectrum. Love on the Spectrum is an American reality television show, emphasis on the reality for reasons we will get into later. It's produced by Kian O'Leary, not Sean, and it follows autistic cast members as they explore the dating world, often for the first time. Season 4 premiered on Netflix on April 2nd, 2026, with some old faces returning back to the cast, as well as some new faces, like Logan.
Yay.
Okay, so Shalini, I think this is your first ever season of Love on the Spectrum that you've watched, right? Okay,
Yes.
give me your overall thoughts.
Okay, so what I had known about it before watching is that everyone's like, oh, it's the most adorable dating show. Everybody is so pure and they're not out here to be influencers. Like, they really just want to find love. And so I knew that going in, and I 1000% agree with that assessment. Everybody was so sweet and so pure, and they just want to find someone that'll be nice to them and that they can be nice to, which I thought was so cute. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I also feel like I learned a lot about like the autistic spectrum and like their experiences and what their triggers are and stuff. And so yeah, it was like educational. It was so adorable. It was great. I really liked it.
Yeah, I think I learned a lot about it too. Although I feel like there are some controversial moments, like things that are going on outside of the show. So the thing that I wanted to point out when I said American reality television show, did you know that the cast is not paid to be on the show? They're paid quote unquote documentary salaries, which is like pittance compared to reality TV show salaries, which is something like another class of payment.
Really?
Yeah,
That's horrible.
I know. Okay, so that's like
What?
controversy number one about this show that I did not realize until season 4. And I think people, or I don't know if this is why, but someone from season 1 who was like basically someone who like went on a date with one of the main cast members. I think her name is Kaylin. Kaylin kind of came out and like she is now an author. She's on the spectrum. She's an author who has written about autistic needs. And she's also on social media. And she's like, "Oh, my NDA expired, and here's how it works." And she's like, "Yeah, we don't get paid to be on this show because it's apparently a documentary and not a reality television series." Even though literally the Wikipedia summary is like, "This is an American reality television series."
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, what's the difference? I guess Yeah, what is the difference between this and Love is Blind in terms of, like, what kind of show it is? It's the same.
It's the same.
Bullshit.
I know. So that's my number one gripe. Um, but yes, otherwise, I do feel like of all the reality television shows that there are, this one does feel a little bit more on the wholesome side, which is kind of nice. Um, but yeah, okay, so why don't we just talk through the cast members just one by one? Okay, let's start with
Okay.
Logan because he's my favorite. Logan is a new cast member. He is 25 at the time of filming. I think he's 26 now. He currently lives in Vegas and he went on a few dates with Hailey, who works in food services at a school. Um, my question for you, what do you think curly straight hair means?
Yeah. I think it was curvy straight hair? Is
Curvy straight hair.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I also don't know what that means. I assume that means, like, wavy. Like, wavy, but not ringlets. Yeah.
Okay, because I was wondering if it was his mom's hair, which is like straight hair but ringlets.
But curled.
Yeah,
Oh.
like
Okay,
curled
maybe
straight hair.
yeah, okay, maybe he did mean curled straight hair. Yeah.
Okay, glad we cleared that up. Um,
I was
so
also thinking, like, I could also tell that Haley flat ironed her hair. And I was like,
mhm.
maybe she does have his ideal hair type. She just
Yeah,
straightens it.
yeah, and she did say that she straightened it too.
Yeah.
So Um, so at the end of the series, we find out that Logan and Haley are no longer together, which is very sad. And Logan is still looking for the right person. Why? Well, I don't know. It's just a good question to ask. Like, where do you
What
think
do
it
you
all
think
went
happened?
wrong? Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I could never tell how Haley was really feeling, but like maybe that's also just by how she expresses herself and so the whole time I was like, does she like him? But then she would like give like a weird facial expression and then be like, you want to make out? And then I'd be like, oh, okay, so she does like him. But yeah, so I was kind of wondering if she kind of like kept it up for the cameras, but then once the cameras are gone, she's like, okay, I don't have to like put on this front or whatever. Maybe I'll just speak my truth now or something. But I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. Like, it did really feel like Logan was a lot more like nervous and caught up and like, um, outside himself, I guess. Like, he definitely didn't feel, like, comfortable with himself when he
Hmm.
was around Haley, and I guess, you know, in a neurotypical relationship, I think that, like, nervousness and excitement kind of, like, wanes over time, and you kinda settle into comfortability, but it's hard to tell on a TV show, and it's hard to tell, with autistic people if, like, that's the norm or if
Yeah.
that's yeah, if it's just something that can't be overcome.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely tell with the couples on this show that have been together for a while that they have broken through a lot. I mean, I haven't seen previous seasons, but it was clear to me that those couples were very comfortable around each other compared to the new couples that were on their like first to second dates. So
Yeah,
I'm sure that is true. And to be fair, I think we only saw like 3 dates between Logan and Haley. And so,
I guess 4 in total, right? So, like, they first met at the Italian restaurant, then they went to the ghost town, then she came over for Chicky Chicky Parm
oh,
Parm,
yeah.
and then he went over to
That's
see
right,
the
that's right,
room.
okay.
I
4,
was
yeah.
also thinking the reason that they might have broken up is because she is, like, really clean and organized and hygienic, and he's like, "Yeah, I have dog pee socks on my bed."
That was really unfortunate. I felt really bad because at the beginning of the season, he was also like, "I'm very clean and neat." But then that happened. So
Yeah.
do you think he's actually clean and neat and that was just a comedy of errors, or do you think he's not as clean and neat as he thinks he is?
Uh, I have a feeling he's not as clean and neat as he thinks he is.
But he was so open to learning.
He was. And I did appreciate that he was like, this filthy, nasty floor as he was vacuuming it. I was like, yes, it is filthy and nasty. You must vacuum. But yeah, I think the dog pee thing, so unfortunate. I
Yeah.
also felt like the reason I say that is because I felt like when he was wearing the suit, the blue suit, so cute by the way, when he got the suit. It
Yeah.
was
He was like,
so
oh my God, Neith,
so
that guy
funny.
looks so cool, Neith. I need that blue suit, Neith. I was like,
Well, he didn't want to compete for it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he was like, I don't want to take it away from him.
Yeah, so
So cute.
sweet. Okay, but yeah, when he wore that suit and when he like went to the date, I noticed that his bow tie was askew.
Hmm.
And I was like, how can maybe he just wanted the bow tie to be at that angle, or I don't know.
Maybe. Or maybe it like got shifted around and he didn't realize.
Yeah, maybe.
How askew was it? I don't really remember.
It was like off to an angle. But I remember
Oh.
also in the dressing room it was off to an angle.
Oh. Okay, maybe he just liked it that way.
Yeah. So I don't
Hmm.
know. Yeah, we didn't because I think because they had a lot of editing creativity in charge, like we basically only saw him say like, "Oh, I don't want to compete for that suit." And then a beat later, he was fully dressed in the suit with the sunglasses on, staring at
Yeah.
himself in the mirror.
I'm happy he got his suit though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, another question is why do you think Logan keeps getting Kian's name wrong? I have two theories.
Okay, I really don't know, but I find it hilarious, and I also love that they keep it in every time he calls him Sean. It's
Yeah.
so funny. Yeah, I don't know. What are your theories?
Okay, so theory number one, which is kind of the internet's theory, is that the producer of the show, or sorry, the like casting coordinator, logistics person of the show, his name is Sean. So
Oh.
it's likely that Logan probably spent like hours on the phone talking to Sean and then just got used to like, oh, the love on the spectrum person point of contact is Sean. And so like whenever he kept seeing Kian, he was like, Sean. That's one theory.
Oh, okay. That's a good theory.
My personal theory is when you look at the name Kian, it kind of looks like Sean.
Yeah. Cian.
Yeah.
Sean.
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 So I think that's my theory is that it just looks like Sean.
It's another good theory. Maybe it's both.
Maybe it's both. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, okay. Great. Well, we wish the best for Logan. Is there anything
Oh,
else you
yeah.
want to talk about?
I did want to talk about his relationship with his sister, which
Oh,
is
okay.
so
Yeah.
cute.
Let's talk
Um,
about it.
okay, yeah, I loved their relationship and like what we saw from it, and I loved how she communicated with him and like definitely kind of just grounded him and was like, just be yourself, blah blah blah. And she was there for support, but she also like teased him like siblings tease each other too, which was really fun.
Yeah, I thought it was really funny how she oh man, I think it was like he came up to her and was like, "Oh, we need to like make cheesecake or something." And then he was like, "Neith, I wish you made me more breakfast because you make breakfast better than mom or something." And she was like, "What?" And then a little bit later in the episode, when he tells her about the date, she was like, "Wait, did you order food or like did you take from her plate?" And then he was like, "Well, I asked myself to I asked her if I could take a bite of her plate." And then Neith was like, "This is what you always do when we go out to eat. Like before even eating your food, you always ask to take a bite of mine." And then Logan's like, "This isn't about you."
That was so funny. Neith was like, all right, touche, touche.
Yeah, touche. Yeah, I love their relationship. I also feel like it's one of the few relationships, like, including the relationship with his mom, I think is, like, relatively normal,
Mhm.
in the sense of I feel like they don't infantilize him.
Mhm.
Like, I think there are other parent-child relationships in the show that we've seen where it feels a little bit infantilizing. Like the way Connor's mom talks to Connor.
Oh. Okay, interesting. Wait,
Yeah.
I wanna hear your takes on that too.
Well, I think it's more like the the fact that there are these leading questions that she asks him. Like, I don't think Neith or Logan's mom is really asking him like, "Oh, like, do you think you feel that way because of this thing that happened to you? Or, like,
Mm,
do you think that you could communicate more?" It's, like, none of that. It's a lot of just, like, "Oh, like, how do you feel?" Like, they're genuinely curious about what he has to say and how he feels. And they're genuinely open to letting him have space if he needs space.
mm. Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that because I guess so, has Connor been on previous seasons?
Yes. Connor,
Okay.
I think he was there starting season 2.
Okay. And has he been with Georgie that whole time?
He has gone on, like, 1 or 2 dates with other people, and then, I think at the end of one of the seasons, he wanted to date Georgie.
Okay. One thing that stuck out to me was at the very beginning of the season when Connor is feeling like Georgie sometimes gives him mixed signals, and his mom is just like, "Well, how would you communicate that to Georgie?" And then he says his thing, and he's like, sometimes when you do this, it makes me feel this way, and I just blah blah blah." And then she's like, "Dude, you killed that," and like bump fists with him. That actually stuck out to me as her letting him be very independent. No, let me let you come up with how you would handle it, and then I'll give you feedback. But I
Mm,
also see your point of later in the season, I feel like she was saying like, "Oh, is she making you feel this way again? Is this how you're feeling? Blah blah blah." So yeah, I don't know. Also, I
yeah.
haven't seen the previous season, so maybe this is a pattern.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I think that she has very good intentions for what it's
Totally.
worth. Like, I think she wants to be the best mom possible for Connor. Um, and I think that's great. And I think there are moments where she does shine. Like that fist bump moment, like, oh, like let's practice. Like, I'm Georgie. What would you say to me? Like, hey Connor, what's up? Like kind of like pretending, like doing that role play situation with him, I think was
I'm eating my
great.
salmon sandwich.
Yeah. That was a little weird to be honest. Um, but yeah, I think in general, I feel like I mean, I don't know if it's fair to compare it to neurotypical relationships or not, right? So, like, if I'm trying to think of my own relationship with my mom or, like, like, other relationships with people's mom that people have seen, and, like, when it comes to how would they interact if I was having a problem with my partner, I don't think they would go into a role play mode per se. Like, I don't think it was the worst thing in the world to do, but, like,
Yeah,
I think there's a certain level of trust and independence that you get as an adult that you don't have to do these things anymore. So I think, like, that's
that's
kind
fair.
of my gripe with her. But I totally
Mm.
understand she's doing it with, like, the best of
Yeah.
intentions.
I do agree with that. Also, that just reminded me, Lorelai and Rory do a role-playing exercise where Lorelai is Dean and Rory's trying to talk to him.
Okay, how old was Rory in that scene?
16, maybe 17.
Connor is 26.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, I mean, like, maybe it's like a first relationship thing and it's not necessarily an
Mm,
age thing. And it's also, like, not right to compare to neurotypical relationships anyway, in some ways.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But I guess going back to Logan, I do totally agree with you that I really loved the way that that whole family communicated with each other. And they were like, it was very open, they weren't afraid of. I mean, I'm sure they've learned ways to not upset him, but, like, they felt comfortable teasing him, he felt
Yeah.
comfortable teasing them, it was really sweet.
Yeah. They definitely have a rapport.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think maybe it's because Neith is his twin sister that they grew up
Mm,
together, like, side by side that whole time that they feel, like, closer that way.
yeah, yeah, I could
Yeah.
see that. Cute.
Okay, cute. Should we talk about Connor now since we kind of
Yeah,
talked about him already?
let's do it.
Okay, so Connor, 26, he lives in Atlanta. So Connor dated Georgie throughout this season, and then in the last episode, we find out that soon after their London trip, they did break up. So Connor and Georgie are no longer together. I think it's pretty clear why they broke up. Because this was something that they kind of talked about throughout the rest of the season, where it felt like Georgie was kind of giving Connor mixed signals. Did you
Yeah.
also observe that during the date? Or is this another editing weirdness?
I did not observe that during the date. I actually well, one thing that I learned about people on the spectrum from this show is that you really can't judge how they're feeling based on how long they take to respond to you or like what their facial expressions are saying, and you really just like take what they say at face value. And so if we do that with Georgie, I mean, I thought she was giving him all positive signals from what we saw. Um and I think the only really disconnect that I observed between the two of them is that she would make jokes and kind of make light during times when he was trying to be serious. And even when he communicated that to her that like this is not a time to joke, she would still continue making jokes. And so that's really the only disconnect I saw from their relationship. But otherwise, I mean, every time he asked her, "Do you think about me romantically?" she said yes. Like she said yes to going on the London trip. She got him a present. Like, I feel like we saw mostly positive, I mean, pretty much all positive vibes from her.
Yeah, I agree. And then one thing that you said about like people on the spectrum not having like you can't take what they show on their face as like proof about if they're enjoying something or not. I actually feel like Love on the Spectrum really only casts like one very specific type of autistic person.
Mm,
And it's generally someone who is expressive enough, in quotes, without seeming neurotypical. So I've noticed that a lot of the women that they cast who are on the spectrum are definitely further along on the spectrum, like more like level 2 than level 1. Um, and I think
or
the
level
reason.
1 is like less autistic.
Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, I did look this up because of, oh my gosh, what is it? Madison and Tyler's relationship, where Madison was
Mhm.
like, oh, like Tyler's level 1, I'm level 2. So, level 1 is generally what was used to be considered Asperger's, which is a diagnosis that went away in 2013 and then got
Mm.
replaced by this like level 1, level 2, level 3, where level 1 is basically people can't really tell at first glance that there is a disability. A level 2, and like they're very independent, highly functioning. Level 2 is more people can generally tell that there is a disability, and then level 3 is like people know that there's a disability and you generally have higher support needs. So I
Mm.
think that this show, yappers, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like this show generally casts like men who are either level 1 or level 2, but more and more they're casting women now who are level 2. And that like they want the audience to be able to tell that people are on the spectrum, which is a very specific type of autistic person, which is like
Interesting.
I feel weird about. So when like coming back to your point about around oh like you can't really tell if people are having fun on the date or not.
Mhm.
I don't know how much of that is this very specific type of autistic person versus the editing that they choose to implement.
Also true, also true. Like, they could make the moments of silence seem way longer than they actually are in real life.
Yeah, or
Or
like they
shorter.
yeah, like they really play into the awkward moments.
Yeah.
in order to make dates that are not going well to make it seem really bad,
Yeah,
which
or,
is
like, dates
something.
that are going well to, like, add some suspense into it.
Yeah, I also feel like this season of Love on the Spectrum, they did do a lot more cuts. Like, there were
Mm.
like, a one date took, like, 3 or 4 cuts where they would go to someone else and then come back, or go to, like, 3 other people and then come back, and then only play a portion and then, like, leave again. And I was like, "Why are they doing this? Just show me the entire date." Jeez.
There was a lot of jarring cuts between things, like, sometimes it would be like someone would ask a question, then suddenly we're on a different couple, and I'm like, "What? What? That was
Yeah.
unnecessary."
Yeah, like, when Connor finally brought out the hatchet, he was like, "Oh, the
Yeah.
honey in the hatchet."
Yeah.
And when he's like, "Now it's time for the hatchet," and then they cut away. I was
It's like,
like, "Oh."
"Come on."
And then they came back, and then it wasn't a big deal. Ugh,
Yeah.
I don't know, it seemed like so unnecessary to instill drama where there wasn't and hasn't been for a show like this.
Yeah. And people have loved it.
Yeah.
So unnecessary.
So unnecessary. If you're gonna treat it like a reality show, you should at least pay your cast members.
Seriously, I'm so shocked by that. That's horrible.
Yeah. The other thing that people also wanted to mention is that apparently if you have a disability and you have an income of greater than $1,600 a month, I think it is, then you no longer qualify for any disability benefits.
Really?
Isn't that crazy?
$1,600 a
Yeah.
month? That is not a living wage. What the
No.
hell?
Yeah, it's crazy. Okay, so like that's like an insane thing that I did not know about. The second thing is that a lot of the cast members on the show do work and they do pull in money, and it's probably greater than 1600. Oh, the other thing is that a lot of these people's families seem to be pretty well off. If you can tell, like they
Mm.
do seem like upper middle class, pretty generally doing okay on the socioeconomic scale.
Yeah, I guess the only one that I observed was that, Dylan, like, shared a very small room with his mom. That was the only one where I was like, "Oh, okay, that stood out to me as, like, yeah.
New to season 4.
Yeah, okay.
The very first
Interesting.
one, who
Huh.
is not maybe not considered upper middle class, but everyone else in previous seasons has been, like, generally pretty well off.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get some more diversity on this show.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think in general, my thoughts on Love on the Spectrum is I like what it's trying to do. Like, there is still a lot more autistic representation on the screen than there was before. I
Yeah.
think people understand a lot more about autism than before, which is great. And a lot of people have even realized that they are autistic because of this show. So, like, yay, that's nice. But as a result, I do think that it only really sheds light on this one particular type of autistic person and, like, generally this one, like, socioeconomic class,
Yeah, like
which is a
a
very small
upper middle
portion.
class, level 2 autistic person.
Yeah. Well, level 1 or level 2 if,
Okay, yeah.
some of the guys are level 1, so
More diversity.
more diversity.
Don't become the America's Next Top Model of autistic dating show.
Yeah, like, if you're gonna show low on the spectrum, have a spectrum.
Yeah, seriously. Wow. Wow. Snaps for
Stop.
that.
Okay, should we keep going with Connor and Georgie?
Yes.
Okay. We talked about his family, we talked about why Connor and Georgie broke up. What do you think about Danny's advice? So actually, you may not know this, but Danny was a previous cast member on some previous seasons. She had a breakup. I think, oh, I can't remember what season she was in, but she was dating someone at the end of the season, and then the next season they broke up on screen. So that's why Danny was like kind of offering him advice. I don't know if it was staged that she would be the one to offer him advice, but here we are.
Probably.
Anyway, What do you think about Danny's advice around be the right person first?
I I think I don't love the phrasing of it, but I think was this what she was trying to say, is that you need to figure out who you are as a person and, like, be very confident in yourself, so confident that you can be yourself on dates, and then you will attract the right person?
Yeah.
Okay. If that was the message, I totally agree with it, but I think from the phrasing, it was kind of like, change yourself before you find someone.
Yeah, I agree. It was giving, like, you need to, like, focus on being the right person, and I was like, "Stepford wife?"
Yeah.
What?
Just drink a toast smoothie and become a Stepford wife, and then your person will find you.
Espresso martini.
Aperto spritz.
Oh my god. Yeah, but then she explained why, like, what she was talking about. I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that
Oh,
makes
yeah.
sense. That makes sense." Oh, yeah, Danny. Okay, yeah. So,
Nice.
wishing the best for Connor. Oh yeah, okay. Speaking of like when what you were saying about, oh, they're not there for like social media influencing. I do actually think, well, I don't know about the cast members specifically, but I do think a lot of the families like create social media accounts for the cast members.
Mm,
And a lot of them now are influencers and have like gone on podcasts and done talk shows and everything. So,
that's cool.
yeah, so it's like interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My fear is that the show will now attract more people that want to be influencers rather than actually find love.
Find love.
And
Yeah.
I guess with this show, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a smaller chance that the person themselves will like fake why they're gonna come on this show than with other shows. Like I think on Love Is Blind, it's pretty clear that they're like half the people there are just trying to be influencers. Um, but I hope with this show, even if that's the family's goal as like a byproduct of being on the show, hopefully it's not the person's goal,
Yeah.
you know?
I hope so too. Yeah. Well, wishing the best for Connor and his burgeoning TV career. That's what he wants to do after the show. I don't think he will
Oh,
be on another season of Love on the Spectrum
okay.
because he wants to pursue TV.
Oh, in what capacity did he say?
I don't know. I saw some article. Let me look this up actually.
He has a very theatrical voice.
He does. Wow, Connor Tomlinson has 1.5 million followers.
Wow! Damn.
Yeah. Ah, okay. Well, best of luck, Connor. You'll be all right. You've changed a
Yeah.
lot since season 2, I think, is when he
Mm.
joined the show.
I really loved how he brought up difficult topics to Georgie. I thought it was really sweet and brave how he did that. And it inspired me as someone who's also working on bringing up difficult topics to others.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is there any advice that you feel you would apply in your real life?
I think, well, I guess not advice per se, but I think it just showed me that, like, you know, the worst case scenario is nowhere near as bad as you think it is in your head. Or, like, I could
Mm.
tell that he was always really nervous to bring something up to Georgie, and he'd be like, "But, like, do you feel romantically about me?" And then she'd be like, "Yeah!" You know? So I think I was just like, wow, like, I feel like Connor, where I'm always really worried about how it'll be if I bring up a difficult topic with someone, but
Hmm.
then it really is never as bad as I think it'll be. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I will say when Connor and Georgie went to the Renaissance Fair, this is unrelated, but Georgie's hair was so intricate. Did you notice this?
Oh, okay, yeah, it was like a half back kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and then she had like this netting, these like braid netting things.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, that is so
Cool.
cool. I don't know if she did that or if someone in her family did that, but Hair skills, for sure.
Love it.
Okay, great. Sorry. So sorry. One more thing I have to bring up. I would absolutely lose it if I went to my partner's family and then he and his granddad just started singing sea shanties for I don't know how long, but anything more than 1 minute.
Literally long enough for the dog to start twitching in its sleep.
Yes. I was like, Georgie, you have the patience of a saint.
Oh my god, yeah. That was so funny. They just really kept going. Okay, were they saying that Connor's grandfather is also on the spectrum? Like
Yeah, I think
he
so.
he like self-diagnosed, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, what?
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Is autism hereditary?
don't know. It might be.
Let's see.
Yes,
Oh,
it is. Strong genetic basis.
interesting.
Anything else about Connor and Georgie?
I loved his love of England or his love of the UK.
Truly an Anglophile.
Yeah, truly. And then
Yeah.
when we learned that his family is English, I was like, "Oh, okay, this makes a little more sense."
Yeah. uh okay. Let's move on to Madison and Tyler. Another
Okay.
longtime couple on Love on the Spectrum. Madison and Tyler met, I think, on season 2. They currently live in Plant City, Florida, and they are now engaged.
So
Yay.
cute.
Very
Yeah, I want
sweet.
to see where Plant City is. Do you know where it is?
I think it's kind of southwest Florida, I'm going to say.
Oh, okay, that would not have been my guess. Oh
I was
yeah,
kind
it's
of
kind of
right.
central west. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So a little bit
Outskirts of
east of
Tampa.
Tampa. Yep. And south, or I said southwest because it's southwest of where my parents live.
True.
Classic.
And your parents live in central Florida, so
Yeah. There we go. Wasn't wrong. I know my Florida geography, kind of. Okay, so at the end of the season, Madison accepted a proposal from Tyler. Hope she doesn't have a curse on her family, a la something very bad is going to happen. And during the proposal, I laughed so hard that she immediately went into planning mode. I was like, damn, girl.
No, literally. That would be me.
That would be me too, to be honest.
It would be all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, just like, I have to do all of these things now. Oh, God. So I do have an update. So when she did like say yes to the proposal, she's like, I want to be on Say Yes to the Dress. So Randy Finoli did reach out to her on Insta, and I think they're gonna meet. I don't know if it's gonna be another like an episode of Say Yes to the Dress. I don't even know if it's still airing. I guess it's still airing.
Maybe.
Anyway, Randy Finoli reached out to her and said, would love to meet you and like help you find your dress.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I posted it on our Insta. It was very sweet.
Yay.
How do you feel about Madison and Tyler's relationship?
It is so, so cute. I'm so happy for them. I'm surprised that they got engaged on their 1-year anniversary. That's quite fast. But you know, when you
When
know,
you
you
know,
know.
you know.
When you know, you know.
When you know,
And
you
how
know.
old are they?
I did not write that down. Madison, age. Madison is 27. Oh, she was born 1997, so she would be turning 29 this year. And I think Tyler is 28. So they're the same
Okay.
age. They're both 28.
Cute. Yeah, I think things that stood out to me was that their parents get along really well with each other. So that's a good foundation. Another good foundation is that it seems like Tyler like truly really understands Madison, which is so cute. And like for their Valentine's date, he got McDonald's and she was like, freaking psyched about it, which is
My
so
favorite
cute.
meal.
Oh my god, you got me McDonald's! So cute. And like and then he just like loves singing to her and she loves being sung to. It's just they're so cute. I'm very happy for them. And oh, also another thing that stuck out to me was how he calmed her down after um she heard one of her triggers, which was being called Maddie instead of
Mhm.
Madison, and like how he kind of helped her through that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they are the healthiest relationship on this show, it feels. Like, they
Mm.
love each other so much. Tyler can just calm Madison down so much, and I think that example was a prime example of, like, how Tyler is showing up for her and is not discounting how she feels. Like, the way
Yeah.
that he took her through that episode, I was like, "Wait, this is so loving and supportive."
It was
So
so sweet.
it was very sweet. Um, Speaking of their families, Madison doesn't wanna
Mm.
have kids.
Oh, really?
Actually,
Okay.
yeah, there was I think when Madison was introduced, to the Love on the Spectrum season, or, like, when it was her, like, introductory season, I think there was a conversation between her and her mom where her mom was like, "Oh, you shouldn't tell people that you don't want kids." This is another, like, family relationship thing that I wanna talk about. It wasn't shown too much in this season, but I also feel like her family is a little bit infantilizing towards her.
Interesting.
I generally feel like when people on the show are giving advice to, the cast members, they again, good intentions, but it comes off a little bit as like, you need to mask yourself more, or like, don't talk
Mm.
about these things, like, don't talk about your special interests or whatever. And like, yeah. And I feel like Madison's mom kind of did that in previous
Oh.
seasons, and then they didn't really show it as much in this season.
Oh, that's too bad. I liked what, that autism expert Jennifer Cook said to Logan, where she's like, "Oh, well, you should talk about your interests. It just can't be." I don't know if the camera is picking this up. It just can't be like one-sided because then you'll be all topsy-turvy. Like you need to ask her questions too to make it balanced. And then yeah, so I thought the way she handled it was very good where it's like it's fine to talk about your interests. Just make sure the other person also gets a chance to talk about their interests. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are some like one moment that I really like about Jennifer Cook, who, by the way, is also on the spectrum. They explain that in
Really?
season 1. Yeah.
Wow. Did not know that.
Okay.
Would not have
You
guessed
see
that.
what I mean, though? Because, like, this is the type of person that would not be on Love on the Spectrum because she doesn't immediately, you know, present
Present.
as having a disability because
Yeah.
she is on the milder side of autism.
Yeah, yeah, so true. Let's get some
Yeah.
more level 1s in there. Let's get some level
Yeah.
3s in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, level 3 is, like, also difficult because
Mm.
generally level 3 is, like, needs a lot of support, generally, like, doesn't communicate that much unless it's to express
Oh,
needs,
I
not
see.
as outwardly expressive.
I
Yeah.
see. I see.
Yeah, that's why there's, like, a lot of, like, okay, we can only really cast, like, this particular type of autistic person, but
Mm.
and for what it's worth, they do have a disclaimer at the very end that says, you know, autism is a broad spectrum, and, like, this show is only, like, one particular type or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Even, like, type is not the right word because it presents differently in different people, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, yes, Jennifer Cook is on the spectrum.
Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
today
says
I
in
learned.
season 1 that she got diagnosed a little bit later in life, like, in her 40s or something.
Wow, okay.
Well, because I think this is the thing with women is that just, like, socially, we have been conditioned to mask a lot more. Like,
Mm,
we've been made to think about our behavior and think about how we present ourselves and how we interact with others, like, a lot more from a younger age than boys,
Mm.
unfortunately. And so that's why, like, when it comes to diagnosing autism, it's more likely to be in younger boys than it is to be in women. And there's a lot more women that get diagnosed later in life than boys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea. Huh.
Yep. Um, yeah, okay, wait, we were talking about Jennifer. Oh yeah, I also love how she was explained kind of the dynamics of conversation and then was like, "You can also say, 'Tell me more about this.'"
And he did say that exactly, and it was so effective.
Yeah. What I was a little bit confused about, and sorry, I'm like skipping over Madison and Tyler, but let's talk a little bit about Dylan. So I felt like I don't know if Dylan met with Jennifer Cook. If he did, they didn't show it.
Yeah,
But I feel like a lot of the stuff that Jennifer was talking about, Dylan would really appreciate because I felt like
yeah.
Dylan, age 22 in Los Angeles, went on 2 dates, one with Caroline and then another 2 dates with Melissa, but is currently single. I think Dylan talked a little bit too much or like presented too much about like what the right answer would be when he asked a question. And you could also tell that when Melissa was on the date with him, she was like, "Now you can ask me a question." Or like, "What would
She
you like
was
to
so
ask me?"
cute. Yeah, yeah, she kept being like, "Okay, well, do you wanna ask me anything?" And, like,
Yeah.
had to prime him like that, and then he was like, yeah, wanna go walk around?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the same thought. I was like, "Oh, he would really benefit from a conversation with Jennifer Cook." Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that they didn't set him up with Jennifer
Yeah,
initially. Or
yeah,
maybe they did and then he just ended up not taking her advice. But I don't know, it's like
maybe.
things like this where I'm like, what is going on in season 4 where it's now starting to be a little bit more of like a let's gawk at these people and
Mm,
like see how awkward they are versus like
like, truly try to set them up for success.
yeah, exactly, which is definitely how it was in season 1. Like, I think in season 1, there were a lot more, "Okay, let's meet with Jennifer, let's, like, see what's going on, let's give them advice," and, like, really set them up with people who are maybe not as autism presenting, maybe they're
Mm.
more neurotypical presenting, and then maybe that just didn't make as good TV? Like, I don't know what's going on.
Ah, jeez. So was Jennifer Cook a bigger presence in previous seasons?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was surprised she was only there. I was like, "Oh, is she, like, unaffiliated with the show, but she just came in to, like, give Logan advice and he knew who she was?" But okay. So she was a big part of seasons 1 and 2 and
She
3?
makes several appearances
Okay.
and definitely had a bigger presence in previous seasons. Um,
Interesting.
but yeah, like the fact that she was able to meet Logan in Las Vegas and couldn't swing a trip to LA to see Dylan, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Confusing.
Confusing.
Justice for Dylan!
Yeah. Um,
Uh, wait, should we talk about Dylan, or did you wanna go back to Madison Tyler?
is there anything else on Madison and Tyler?
Um, I loved her accessorization in all of her outfits. It was really cute. And she loves
Yeah.
those, like, Hawaiian flower clips. They're so
Yeah.
cute, and it's always matching her clothes. Um,
I also really liked how she was like not going to bring her dolls when she went to meet Tyler. And then Kian was like, "Are you sure?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm done with them. I'm done with that part of my life." I was like, "God,
so
girl."
cute! Big
Yeah.
girl doing big things.
Yeah, like Tyler is now her support doll, where if she's gonna meet Tyler, like she doesn't need her other dolls.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah, I thought that was very sweet.
That also reminds me, going back to Logan, is how Neith was like, I won't bring up Tifa on this date. And he was like, yeah, don't. I'm done with her.
Oh,
His
Tifa.
imaginary girlfriend.
Oh, Tifa.
So funny.
Okay,
Okay. Oh yeah, Dylan.
Dylan.
Um okay, what was I going to say? Okay, it was really funny when he was like, "This is my spot on the couch. I fart here sometimes, but not now per se."
Yes, I wrote that down too.
So funny.
And then he's like, "Why are you laughing?" Wait, I also felt really bad for Dylan because he was saying that I think his mom goes to work at 8 in the morning, comes back at around like 8:30 in the evening, and he's
Mm.
just alone in the house that whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
Seemed lonely.
Yeah, that is really lonely.
Yeah. Oh, Dylan.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm sure that's why his mom like really wants him to find someone.
Yeah, maybe part of the reason, just like get out of the house,
Yeah.
stop farting in the couch.
I thought it was really cute how after the date with Caroline and then she called him and like basically turned him down for a second date. And then he and his mom were in the kitchen and his mom was like, Dylan, did you tell her she was the one on the first date? And just like kind of had some real talk with him. She's like, that's not appropriate, honey. It was
Yeah,
really cute.
what did you think about that advice?
I thought it was fair. I thought it was good advice. He should not, I mean, regardless of how he feels on the date, I think it's about understanding how what he says would make the other person feel. And I feel like she communicated that the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit confused about like, oh, it's inappropriate. And he's like, why is it inappropriate? And then she was like, well, you've just met this person. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. 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 It's like, you don't even know them that well. Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah, true, 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 true. But when you know, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I thought Dylan was really funny and like just the little things he would say were so funny. Like when he was waiting for Melissa to come for his first date with her, he was like, "Oh my God, I hope she's not ugly. Sorry to brunettes and dark-haired people."
Oh, yeah. I was like, wait, what?
I was like, "Damn, all right." He
So he
only
only
likes
likes
blondes?
Yeah. But then when he did see her, she was like, "Oh, thank God, she's pretty." I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa."
Like, what did you think she would look like?
Oh my God. He needs to
Oh,
meet with
Dylan.
Jennifer Cooks.
He
Stat.
really does.
Stat. Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, Dylan is currently single, still looking for love, and we may see him on another season of Love on the Spectrum, it
All
seems.
right.
Yeah. About. Let's move on to another longtime couple, James and Shelley, 37 and 31, respectively. They are in Boston and they are currently living together. So they did end up getting a house, and I think
Oh,
they've been
they
living together
did.
for the past 3 months.
Oh, so happy for them. They are an amazing couple. I think they're such a good match for each other because James talks so much and then gets nervous that he's pissing her off. And then she's like, I'm fine.
I find Shelley's voice so relaxing. I
Yeah.
wish James let her talk more because when she does say something, it's so relaxing and so like anxiety dissuading.
It
She's like,
is.
James, you've got something all over your hair. Like, oh James, like I'm not mad at you. And I'm like, my English princess.
I am suddenly an Anglophile.
I am a Shelley file.
I also love her voice. I found their dynamic hilarious. Like, just like comedy, literally. Where he'd be like, oh, Shelly, I'm so sorry. I'm talking so much. I'm being so egotistical. Do you think I'm selfish? Do you think I'm selfish? And she's like, no, I'm fine. And then he would just keep talking. So cute.
Oh my
She's
God.
the chillest person on the planet.
And then James is like, oh, Shelley, like, did you stumble? I think I stumbled a bit. I think I pulled you too hard. And she's like, I didn't stumble, James. You did.
So funny. They're amazing.
Okay, speaking of relationship dynamics, how do you feel about James and his parents? Their family dynamic?
Oh, so interesting. I really didn't get a great read on it because I was confused about I was like, okay, either his parents are crazy jokesters and just are joking all the time, or they're being really mean. And I could not tell which it was, but this is also only the first season I've seen them in. But yeah, which one is it?
Yeah, I honestly can't tell either. Some people were saying that, in quotes, it's clear that James' parents are also on the spectrum. And I was like, I don't know if I see that. Or
Hmm.
like, if
I can
they
kind of
are,
see it with his dad, maybe. So he would just kind of
yeah,
like say things that you're like, well, why are you telling us this? You know?
yeah, maybe. But I don't know, it's very interesting because I do feel like James's parents have a very, shall we say, classic American relationship. But James is such a staunch feminist. It's very interesting to see that dynamic. Because his dad will say
So
things
funny.
like, I don't know if the dad is joking or not, but the dad will say things like, "Oh yeah, like my wife." I don't know if he says things like, "Oh, the old ball and chain," or like "happy wife, happy life." He says stuff like that, right? And then
Yeah,
James
yeah.
is like, "See, I really don't like these types of these types of sayings because I really just think a marriage should be happy and loving and a good relationship." And I'm like, "Yes, it should,
Yeah.
James. You go."
James, break those generational barriers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it. Love it, James. What a feminist.
Yeah. So
Uh,
sweet. Yeah, when his dad was like, "Oh, you know why 80% of husbands die before their wives? It's because they want to." And James was like, "I hate that attitude, Dad. Don't say that."
yes. Yes, exactly. I'm like, good job, James. But then I don't know if his dad is saying that just to get that kind of rise out of James.
Right, right. I can't tell if he's doing it as a joke. Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say that they are one of the few parents who are like, James, get the heck out of our house. Like, be independent.
Damn, that's kind of harsh, but also kind of sweet that they really want him to be that independent and they are
Yeah,
doing the opposite of infantilizing him. They're like, "Bro,
exactly.
you're almost 40, get the fuck out."
Yeah. Which in some ways is very refreshing.
Yeah.
Like, if you compare their relationship with James to, like, Madison's relationship with her parents, it's night and day. Although that being said, I think, Madison did move to Plant City with her brother, and she's living by
That's
herself,
true.
so.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, one thing that I didn't like about James's editing is that they kept or, like, James kept being like, "Oh, I'm a little bit anxious about this," or, like, he would say things, and then they would just, like, cut to a shot of his Tevas where his feet were, like, going kinda crazy, and I was like, "Why are you doing this? Like, why are you making this such an awkward, like." It goes back to that whole
Unnecessary.
idea of, like, "Oh, now we're gawking at them again,"
Yeah.
which I didn't
Yeah.
appreciate.
Also, I noticed that there was one time when he was like, "The public doesn't need to know about that. We should cut that or something." But they kept it in. I was like, "Dude, just cut that if he doesn't want everyone knowing."
Yeah, I don't know, but, like, it goes back to this idea then, like, did they like, ask him for permission, then he was like, "Oh, that's fine,"
Right.
or was it
Maybe.
actually they just didn't respect his wishes, or, like,
Yeah.
thought it was a funny moment that they would just leave in?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. One editing part that they did do really well is when he had the Buttermoon poem, and he started singing it a little bit, and then they added some background music. I was like, "Finally, editing is doing justice to this
Oh,
man."
his Buttermoon poem was so cute. And I love that he asked Shelley permission to share it with his parents.
Yeah, that was really sweet. It was and then he was like went to his room and, like, started freaking out that he couldn't find it, and then he found it, he was like, "Oh, phew." It's, like, so relatable. Ah, oh, and then I also wanted to add that they 100% passed the paranormal activity test. So,
Oh,
yappers, if you recall, or maybe you didn't listen to it, which is okay. But, in our paranormal activity episode, we watched this play. Or, Shalini, do you wanna explain it?
oh, sure. Yeah, we watched this play. Well, it was the Paranormal Activity live show, and it will be coming to the UK and Ireland quite soon. But anyway, in the play, the main character couple calls the psychic over to kind of like just like exercise the house, I guess, or find out like what's going on. And that psychic asks both of them, "What do you love most about the other person?" And Lulu, the wife, says, "Oh, I love that James is like so caring and so independent and really strong and like makes me laugh. He's so funny. And like he's easy on the eyes, haha." And then James is like, "She's my everything. When I'm with her, I just know everything's gonna be okay." And the psychic is like, "Okay, and James, what do you love about her that has nothing to do with you?" And I was like, damn, so true.
Snaps.
Snaps.
Meanwhile, this James is like, Shelley has an amazing sense of direction. She's so good at puzzles. She's so good at putting things together and recognizing patterns. He was just full of praise for all of the qualities that Shelley has that has nothing to do with him. And I love that.
Yeah, it was so sweet. I love James's love of Shelley. I really do.
Yeah. And every time she like tittered daintily, he was like, "Oh, Shelley, I'm so glad you're laughing. Like, I so love it when you laugh."
So sweet.
It's so sweet.
So did they meet on this show?
They I think they met actually through a friend.
Mm.
So she was in a previous season where they didn't meet because of the show, but there was like some barbecue that James was hosting, and she was mutual friends with one of his friends, and then they like
Mm.
yeah, he like threw a barbecue and invited Shelly, and then at the barbecue he I think asked her out at the end of a season, and then she was like, "Okay, yeah, like
Cute.
we can like go on a date and stuff." And now they're dating and living together.
So cute.
Very sweet.
I love when you see a couple and you're just like, they are perfectly matched for each other, you know?
Love, love.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Anything else with James and Shelley? All right. Moving on to our last castmate that we haven't talked about yet, Emma, age 22 and lives in Salt Lake City. Emma went on 2 dates during the show with Austin and with Eric. Um, and I don't think either panned out that well. She went on 1 date with Austin, called it quits, went on a few dates with Eric, and then I think after that called it quits with Eric.
Oh, I thought they said that they're taking it slow.
I think it's now ended.
Okay, I see. All right. I had high
Yes.
hopes for them, but all right.
Yeah, the ending of the show was a lot more optimistic than what reality was.
Huh. Or maybe there have been updates since they stopped filming the show.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Well, anyway, like any reality show, am I right?
Truly.
Stuff happens outside of the show. Uh, well, anyway, I really liked Emma. I thought she was really sweet. I loved her Donald Duck voice. It was very
Oh my
good.
god. So impressive. I also love that she brought it up on every date.
Yes. Anyway, how do you think that Emma's date went with Austin? Because I think this was another one where I was a little bit confused.
Yeah, it was hard to tell. Okay, so this was one of the first dates I saw of this entire show. So I, at this point, did not quite realize that, like, I was starting to realize that, you know, moments of silence are not necessarily bad. And, like, it doesn't necessarily indicate how the other person is feeling or anything. Um, and so I was like, oh, okay. because I feel like the silence after her Donald Duck impression and Goofy impression and Mickey Mouse impression, they, like, made that into, like, a big dramatic thing,
Yeah.
but then he was like, "Oh, like, that was pretty spot on," and then I was like, "Oh, okay, like, that did not have to be this big dramatic thing." Um, from what I could tell, it seemed like the date went not that badly. Like, I thought it went fine. There were definitely some awkward silences where you could tell that both of them were feeling awkward about it, like when they were in the glass dome or what the bubble. Um, but yeah, I guess at the end she was not feeling it. So,
Yeah, and then there was a moment where she was like, where I think he asked her, "How do you like, what do you look for in a good date or, like, in a partner or something?" And then she was like, "Oh, someone who's a good conversationalist and, like, no awkward silences." And then there was an awkward
yeah.
silence, and then he was
Yeah.
like, "Okay." Or she was like, "Someone who can keep the conversation going." And then he was like, "Okay."
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know, it's like things like that. You never know if it's editing.
Yeah, truly, you never know. Also, I totally agree with her that he looked like her dad.
Yeah, I saw it.
Right? Just with glasses, but yeah, like, they have the same face.
Okay, speaking of her dad, let's move on to family relationships. How did
Okay.
you feel like their family dynamic worked with, like, Emma's relationship with her dad and brother and
Oh,
mom?
I thought okay, I guess I don't have very strong thoughts about it. I thought her relationship with her brother was cute where he was like, "Oh, you crushing on Eric?" And she was like, "Yeah, I am." And they seem very open, including Emma, about open about, like, talking about her relationships, which I thought was sweet. I also thought it was really sweet how in one of the mom's confessionals, she's like, I remember when Emma was little and we would go to church and she would be making noises and I would try to quiet her. And she told me, Mom, I don't like it when you do that. And that's when I realized, like, why am I trying to change my daughter? So I thought that was really sweet. That's an example of, you know, a parent not trying to mask their or like breaking out of the tendency to mask their child's behavior.
Yeah.
So I thought that was sweet.
I maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I felt like um Emma's relationship with her mom was a lot stronger than her relationship with her dad. So
Mm,
one scene that really stood out to me was before the recital that she was going to go up on stage and sing the song. Before she was doing that performance, she was like, "Oh my god, where's my lipstick? I need to add my lipstick on." And her dad wasn't like,
helping.
acknowledging that at all. He was just
Mm,
like, "Okay, like, let's calm down. Let's, it's fine. Like, you're gonna be fine. You're just gonna go up on stage and, like, do your thing." And she was like, "I need my lipstick. I need to, like, put my lipstick on." Why wouldn't you just be like, "Where is your lipstick? Let's go get your lipstick. Let's."
yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know enough about, like, being around someone with autism enough to know whether he was trying to help her break out if he was like, "Hey, this is an opportunity to practice, like, not getting what we want in the moment," you know? Like, if that was he was trying to, like, make it a teaching moment or
Mhm.
if he was just, like, dismissing her. I don't know, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this was editing again, but it kinda just felt like he wasn't doing anything. It
He
was
was just,
like
like,
he was
standing there.
yeah, he was just like, like, my job is to transport her from where we are in the audience to the stage that's, like, just over there, and even that, like, she is having this meltdown about lipstick, and I don't know how to help her. It's like, "Dude,
Mm.
get her the lipstick."
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit.
Yeah, I don't know, but then she, like, went into the bathroom, and I think maybe she found her mom, and then she came out with, like, a full face of makeup and her lipstick, so I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
yeah.
classic, once again, mom is saving the day."
Yeah, I'm curious what Yappers thought of that moment. Like, Yappers, did you think her dad was being dismissive, or do you think he was actively trying to help her cope with not having her lipstick and just like making do with the situation? Yeah.
Yeah, let me know because I haven't like gone on Reddit or anything and tried to read what other people have said. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure what the discourse is about that moment, but that was how
Yeah.
I interpreted it.
Yeah, especially because, okay, they made it seem like there wasn't enough time maybe for her to put lipstick on. And that's why he
Yeah.
was let's just go, like, just do your best. But then clearly there was enough time, so yeah.
Yeah, and lipstick takes like 2 seconds to put on.
Yeah, truly. Which maybe he doesn't know that because he's a man. But yeah. Okay, there's no reason for him to know that, Ruchi.
Oh, come on. I think if you were a man, you would. I think it's like, even with man brain, putting on lipstick is so binary, right? Like,
Well, okay, I just remember there have been a few times in my life where I'll like put my hair up into a bun and then a dude is like, "Whoa, how did you do that?" And I'm like, "What? It's not that
maybe,
hard." Yeah.
maybe, but like, I think if you were a man and you were trying to assess how long it takes to put on lipstick, you would err on the side of shorter rather than longer.
But maybe he was saying, "Why risk it? Like, let's get you to the stage on time so you don't miss your performance."
Maybe. Yappers, let us know. Let
Should we
us know.
cancel Emma's dad? No, just kidding.
I just think that he wasn't very supportive in that moment. And also, he wasn't even like, we don't even have enough time to do this. Like, we need to
Right.
get you on this stage. Like, he wasn't even saying that. He was just like, oh, like, you're missing your lipstick. He was just there.
Yeah, he was just there.
Like, he wasn't doing or saying anything. And that's what my gripe is.
Mm,
Um, okay. Should we move on to the final couple, Abby and David?
yes.
Okay, Abby and David, you probably don't know this, but they were actually major characters in previous seasons. They were actually on
Mm.
season 1 of Love on the Spectrum, and they were shown, like, aspects of their relationship was shown in basically every season of Love on the Spectrum so far. Abby and David are actually no longer together.
No! After 4 years?
5 years.
5 years?
Yeah. The news
Oh no.
came
Do you know
out.
why?
Uh, they still say that they're friends. I think David announced some like music thing or like some like book that he wrote. Wait, let me see. David Madison, Love on the Spectrum. Yeah, they split after 5 years, and I think he wrote a show. Or no, oh my God, what am I saying? I think he wrote a book, and then at the same time that he announced his book on social media, he also announced that they had split up.
Sad.
Yeah, I if I had to hypothesize, um, I do think they were not really on the same page when it came to marriage in the first place.
I kind of got
Um,
that.
yeah, so David kept saying like, "Oh, we'll get married when the time is right." And then Abby was like, "I want to be a bride now."
I remember seeing a clip of them on social media from maybe it was last season. But the caption was like, even men are or like men on the spectrum are just the same or something, and it was her being like, "Well, where's my ring?" And he's like, "Oh, like I'll wait till the time is right," or something. And it was like, "All men are the same," or something. So I kind of like I had that context on them before I watched this season. And then I also saw you could tell in her eyes that she was sad that she wasn't married yet.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
because they had been together for longer than Madison and Tyler,
Yeah.
who got engaged after a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, very sad. They're no longer just together. But
Oh, wish the best
yeah,
for them.
wishing the best for them. And it only takes a year of dating to get engaged. Maybe even less, according to Connor's granddad, who proposed after 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Oh boy.
So there you go.
That's some Dylan moves right there.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the end of all of our castmates. So now I have an overall question to ask you, Shalini, which is, will you be watching next season of Love on the Spectrum?
Mm, I would say if we want to do another episode, I would happily watch it. And if yappers want to see another Love on the Spectrum episode, I would happily watch it. I don't know if I would go out of my way to watch it. I think like I was like neutral positive on it after watching this season, and I thought it was like super cute. Um but then also after hearing like the controversy about how they're not paying their cast members, I don't know. It's ruined it a little bit for me. But maybe if that changes, maybe I'll feel differently.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
similarly. I think I would probably I'm leaning away from
Mm,
watching season 5. I think just because I've seen the trend line from season 1 to season 4, and I do think season 1 was a lot more the
like
opposite of
pure intention.
disingenuous. Yeah. Season 1 was more pure intention than this season. I think this season they were doing some weird things with the editing that I didn't really like.
Mm,
So,
yeah, fair.
I'm leaning away. But, if yappers really want us to cover it, we'll cover it. Maybe we'll do
Yeah.
something similar, like we can do like a double header and just be like, yeah, we also watched Love on the Spectrum,
Yeah.
season 5. Here's the updates.
Yeah.
All right,
Right.
ratings.
Yes. Do you want to go first this time?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Um, so I think quality, I'm caught between a 3 and a 4.
Okay, if you do a 3, I'll do a 4 because I was also caught between 3 and 4.
Okay, is that how we're doing it now?
Sure.
Okay, I'll give quality a 4,
Okay.
and I'll give enjoyment a 3. I do think there is a lot more infantilization, and I think the entire last episode kinda left a bad taste in my mouth. I think at the very end when they all start singing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" together at the end of, like, the engagement party, I was like, "This is so weird." Like,
Yeah, I fast
maybe
forwarded that.
yeah, I was like, "Okay, I understand it's, like, a cute moment and they wanna sing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow" together, and, like, that could be cute," but it feels very intentional that they did that, and it felt very like, "Oh, look at these pure, wonderful, like, human beings who are on the spectrum, and they're so pure and, like, great, and they're
Yeah.
all, like, singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow together," which is it's a little bit of othering. I think someone had a YouTube video on this, on, like, the autism spectrum and love on the spectrum
Mm,
in general, how even if you say that someone on the autism spectrum is, like a special snowflake of a human being who, like, sees the world in a different way, it's still othering.
right.
It's, quote,
Right.
"othering with a fancy coat." So,
Mhm.
I totally agree with that. I think it was very strange that they did that, and, I don't think it really does the autism community any service if you're presenting people on the spectrum in this kind of light. It still
Yeah.
doesn't really help the idea of that like, there are people on the spectrum, and they exist just like us, and they want love just like us, and they want sex just like us.
Side note, do you watch The Pit?
No, but there is an
Pit?
autistic character, right?
Yes. I think she's like I would say somewhere either level 2 or level 3, if I had to guess. She's the sister of one of the main characters, and her arc this season is that she got a UTI because she's been having a lot of sex, and her sister's, like, having a meltdown about it.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's really cute, and I feel like that like, they made her seem so normal in wanting sex in that
yeah.
show. Yeah.
Oh, another person, Heartbreak High, the autistic character
Oh, yeah, Quinny!
Quinny, she is actually played by an autistic actress.
I love that! I did not know she was actually on the spectrum. I love and respect that so much.
Yeah, so people on the spectrum are vast and
Yeah,
varied, just
totally.
the same as neurotypical people are vast and
Yeah.
varied.
Oh, okay. Um, yes, I will give quality a 4. You did 3, right? No, you did 4.
I did 4.
I'll give it a 3. And I will give enjoyment also a 3, I think. Yeah. I think it was really educational and it was like really cute to see some of the stories, but yeah, I think I may not go out of my way to watch the next one. So.
Yeah, that's fair. One thing that I wanted to add, I don't know if I talked about this, but just like another thing on the level 1, level 2, Tyler has Asperger's, which he was diagnosed before 2013. So during 2013, there was like a whole like rewriting of like how you diagnose autism. Now Asperger's is categorized as a level 1 autism. So going forward, no one will be diagnosed with Asperger's before. However, people who are diagnosed with Asperger's still talk about Asperger's because it is like part of their identity, and it is like one of the things that like have made the way that their minds work make sense to them. So people will still say if they were diagnosed before 2013 that they are that they have Asperger's. So I just thought that was something interesting that I found out as a result of this show, because I was like, what is the difference here between Asperger's and autism?
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that's really good to know. Did you ever watch Parenthood?
I don't think so.
Okay. That was a show with Lauren Graham, who played Lorelai on Gilmore Girls. It also had like some other actors that are pretty famous now. But anyway, one of the children in that family um, was diagnosed with Asperger's in the first season. Yeah.
Oh, pre 2013.
Pre 2013. Yep. I think it was like 2009 or something. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. So I feel like I learned a lot, and
Yeah.
wishing the best for the castmates and wishing that they get paid for next
Yes.
season.
Yes.
Who would you recommend Love on the Spectrum to?
I would recommend this show to anyone who enjoys dating shows but is kind of sick of the lack of authenticity of modern dating shows and just wants something really pure. I would also recommend the show to anyone who wants to learn more about the autistic spectrum, and like wants, a fun way to learn about it without just like reading about it.
Okay. I would recommend this show to people who love love.
Hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'll leave it at
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Oh, should we do it this week in entertainment?
Yes, educate me.
Okay. Temptation Island season 2 is now out on Netflix. I don't
Oh
know if
my
you
god,
saw
it's
that.
out already?
Yes.
Please don't make me watch that show.
We're not going to. Don't
Okay,
worry.
great.
We're safe. We have too many other things coming up, like Beef and Running Point.
Yes.
Emily in Paris heads to Greece and Monaco for season 6.
Wait, that's where Gabrielle is.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool.
Yep. Another show thing. There is a new show called The Season, and it's set for a US launch on Hulu in June. The premise of the show is that this is a White Lotus-like Asian drama about rich people behaving badly, which I know you love.
Say less.
Oh, okay, I'll stop talking.
No, tell me more.
It's set within the insular world of Hong Kong's high society, summer of yacht parties and charity galas.
Ooh, okay, I'm
Yes.
so in.
Stay tuned for that. Hulu in June. And then lastly, you're going to love this. Did you know that Derek Fleming from Age of Attraction, of
Oh, yeah.
Derek and Pfeiffer couple, did you know that he dated Tiffany Gomez, otherwise known as the Crazy Plane Lady?
That motherfucker right there is not real.
Yes. Yes. Isn't that crazy? It was so great.
That is the wildest crossover.
I know. I was like, what?
Oh my god, amazing.
Yep.
Wow, the world really be so small.
So there you go. That's This Week in Entertainment for you.
Amazing, amazing. Oh, one more thing to add is Olivia Rodrigo's new album drops June 12th.
Oh, I have not been good at keeping up with album drops. What's it called?
It's called You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love.
Yeah. Okay, 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 okay. I did remember seeing an album cover for that. She's like on a
Mm,
swing or something.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Nice, excited.
Yeah. And I think her first single drops on Friday, April 17th.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We'll be looking out.
Yep.
I also haven't even listened to didn't Harry Styles have a recent album drop?
Yeah, yeah. I listened to it. It was okay. I mean, the songs are very like pleasant to listen to, but I think Harry's House was way better.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
haven't even listened to it, but from what you had said about it, I was like, well, I'm not really inclined to anymore.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, as
Yeah.
always, thanks for yapping with us.
Yay. See you next time. Thanks for yapping with us. If you loved this episode, have some hot takes we missed, or if you've got a show you're dying for us to binge next, follow us on socials. We're at bingeyaprepeat.
Until next time, happy binging.